I'm David Tillman, author of NootropicsExpert.com. And in this video, I'm going to do a review of my favorite pre-made nootropic stack, Lab Pro. Lab Pro is by far the best nootropic stack I've ever used, and I've tried a lot of them over the last 10 years, including ready-made stacks from the local vitamin shop to many of the well-known stacks found online. Now, a little bit about me. Nearly 10 years ago, I was diagnosed adult ADD, and my doctor put me on Ritalin. And it was like the light suddenly came on in my brain. And for the first time in my life, I could concentrate and focus. Now, up till then, I took my brain for granted and hadn't considered how the health of my brain affected every single aspect of my life. Now, that point was the beginning of a journey into how my brain worked, what was wrong, and an earnest search on how to fix it. Now, I've read thousands of threads on Reddit, Longevity, and nootropic blogs in this search for the ultimate nootropic stack. Now, anyone has been down this path of brain optimization like me knows the expense involved. And I spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on supplements, trial and error with different compounds, buying ready-made stacks that promised a lot, but they always fell short in some way. And eventually I started buying nootropic supplements in powder form and making my own capsules. Still a costly way to boost my brain power, but entirely worth the effort and the expense, both in my career and the relationships with the people that I love. But I was always on the lookout for the ideal nootropic stack that could help replace many of the supplements I was taking. And about a year and a half ago, I finally found it in Lab Pro. I've been using Lab Pro every day for the last year and a half, and I haven't found another pre-made nootropic stack that comes anywhere close to what this stack can do. Lab Pro is a premium nootropic stack developed by a company called OptiNutra over in the United Kingdom. The company promotes Lab Pro as the first universal nootropic stack that boosts all aspects of cognition in all types of people. This nootropic stack can be used by students, athletic competitors, people in sports and games, working professionals, and even people over 55. So how can one stack promise so much in just 2 capsules a day? Well, let's dig into the ingredients, see what they do in the brain and how they work. Now, note that every ingredient that's in Lab Pro that I'm talking about here in this video, if you go to my review, which is the transcript of this video on nootropicsexpert.com, just search for Lab Pro review, and that'll take you to the transcript. And each one of the ingredients or the nootropics that I talk about has got a link to a full review of each one of those nootropics, and links through to all the clinical studies, things like dosage, side effects, and that kind of thing. So you'll get a lot more detail on the history, clinical studies, dosage recommendations, side effects, and the forms available by taking a look at the transcript after you're done watching this video. Now, this is the formula that the team at OptiNutra created for Lab Pro that works so well for me, and for thousands of other neurohackers around the world. I'll go through them one by one. There's 11 ingredients, and I'll give you a brief explanation of each one. First one is Bacopa monnieri. They have 150 milligrams standardized to 45% active bacosides, and it cuts back learning time and improves memory, including recall. The active bacosides in Bacopa protects brain cells from free radicals, which prevents cell damage and death. Bacopa also boosts acetylcholine, GABA, and serotonin that are all tied to focus, clear memory, and better mood. Bacopa even helps boost cerebral circulation. Second ingredient is acetylcholine. They use a brand called Cognizine, which is a branded form of acetylcholine or CDP-choline, 250 milligrams. Acetylcholine enhances cognition, concentration, memory, logical reasoning, learning, and focus. And acetylcholine also helps synthesize phosphatidylcholine, or PC, which is a major phospholipid found in the brain cell membranes of every one of your brain cells. And it supports the neurotransmitter acetylcholine while providing antioxidant activity. They also use phosphatidylserine, or PS. They use a branded form called Sharp PS Green. They use 100 milligrams, which improves memory and attention. It increases cognitive processing speed and accuracy. Now, PS is also a phospholipid that makes up about 15% of brain cell membranes, maintaining cellular fluidity, optimizing neuroreceptors, and promoting acetylcholine and dopamine. PS even increases nerve growth factor, which helps neurogenesis, cell maintenance, and repair. And then they include lion's mane mushroom, and they provide the full spectrum, 500 milligrams, which is effective in improving memory, neuron repair, liver detox, and help regulate blood sugar and cholesterol levels. Now, lion's mane is the only mushroom that supports brain health, believe it or not. The active ingredients in lion's mane stimulates nerve growth factor, which helps neurogenesis, and myelin axon sheath synthesis, which improves neuroplasticity, which is involved in memory formation and keeping brain cell membranes healthy. Next, they have rhodiola rosea, 50 milligrams, standardized to 3% rozibins and 1% salidrosides, which improves mental performance under stress, and it enhances mood. Rhodiola boosts mood by influencing norepinephrine, serotonin, and the feel-good opioids like beta endorphins, the levels in your brain. It helps neurogenesis. It activates the synthesis of ATP, which is the fuel from your mitochondria, and reduces the inflammatory C-reactive protein in your brain. Next, they include L-theanine, 100 milligrams, as suntheanine, which improves focus, sleep, immune system strength, and blood pressure control. L-theanine increases alpha brainwaves, which are associated with relaxation and enhanced creativity. It settles excitatory neurotransmitters while promoting calming neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA, sharpening attention, alertness, and focus that helps in creative problem solving, learning, and studying. Next, they've got 175 milligrams of NALT, or N-acetyl L-tyrosine, which is an amino acid that's critical for the synthesis of the catecholamine neurotransmitters dopamine, epinephrine, and norepinephrine in your brain. Boosting these catecholamines helps improve cognition, mood, and memory. Now, NALT has been shown to promote working memory and help with multitasking. And NALT helps optimize mental performance under high stress, fatigue, and sleep deprivation. And then they have 500 micrograms of pterostilbene, which is a polyphenol that's derived from grapes and blueberries. This nootropic helps to fight off and even reverse cognitive decline. Pterostilbene is a potent antioxidant, protecting brain cells from free radical damage, particularly under severe stress, including recovery from stroke by protecting the brain's blood supply. Then they've got 6 milligrams of vinpocetine. Now, this extract from the periwinkle plant easily crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it helps increase cerebral blood flow. Now, by enhancing blood flow in your brain with vinpocetine, you promote cellular glucose and oxygen metabolism, helping boost attention, concentration, and memory. And then they've got vitamin B6, 2.5 milligrams, supplied as P5P, which is critical for the synthesis of the major neurotransmitters dopamine, GABA, norepinephrine, and serotonin, which influence mood, cognition, and helps regulate your body clock. B6 also helps protect your brain from excess homocysteine, which can damage blood vessel linings. B6 helps form the myelin, which is the protective sheath that surrounds axons in your brain and in your body. And the final ingredient is vitamin B12. They've got 7.5 milligrams as methylcobalamin, which is required to regulate homocysteine levels in your brain and body. B12 is also a cofactor in the synthesis of the major neurotransmitters dopamine, GABA, norepinephrine, and serotonin. Low levels of vitamin B12 has been linked to poor mood and cognition, leading to cognitive decline at any age. The amount of each ingredient listed is for OptiNutra's recommended 2 capsules per day. Now you can safely increase your dose to 4 capsules a day, 2 in the morning and 2 early afternoon. But like every nootropic, it's always better to start low and see how your body and brain react before increasing your dosage. Now the key to making this nootropic stack work is twofold to my mind. 1, the exact amount required for optimal performance from each ingredient. And this is important, the exact amount required. They figured it out. The way these things work together, each one of the ingredients, they've got the right amount of each. And the second way that synergy, or how everything works together and complements each other, works out for maximum results for each of the nootropics included. Now, this idea of synergy is a big deal when putting together any nootropic stack. While each nootropic on its own could call for a higher dose, when combined, they work together better, even at smaller doses. But more on doses in a minute. Now, one thing that irks me is the way that some nootropic manufacturers hide the exact amount of each ingredient in their stack. They call it their proprietary formula. But OptiNutra chooses to disclose exact amounts on their packaging, so I know exactly what I'm taking. For me, this shows respect for me as a customer. Then I've got the option of upping doses of certain nootropics that are unique to my condition and in my state of brain health. For example, I'm adult ADD, and I continue to use 20 milligrams of Ritalin twice a day. Ritalin works by blocking the uptake and degradation of dopamine in my brain, making more dopamine available to help my focus and concentration. Now, the problem for me, and for many people with ADD and ADHD, is that as we get older, there's not enough dopamine in my brain to start with. Now, Lab Pro addresses this lack of dopamine with Nalt, but in my case, the dose of Nalt is too low. So I add 800 milligrams of Nalt and 1,000 milligrams of Alcar each time I take my Ritalin dose. Now, the result has been greater efficacy of Ritalin. I've never had to increase my dose of Ritalin due to tolerance, which is a big freaking deal. And at the end of my day, I don't experience a stimulant crash, which is really common with using these types of stimulants. So do I consider this a con for Lab Pro? No, absolutely not. Because while I need the extra dopamine and acetylcholine in my brain, you may not, unless you're dealing with something like ADHD. And I know exactly how much Nalt and Alcar to add to the stack because OptiNutra tells me how much they're supplying in their stack, so there's no guessing on my part. I love this nootropic stack. 2 capsules in the morning with a tablespoon of organic, unrefined coconut oil, and it launches my day. And in my case, with ADD and being hypothyroid, I take another 2 capsules at noon with coconut oil. I also use 1,000 milligrams of DHA in the morning, along with aniracetam and salbutamine. Now, since starting with Lab Pro, my productivity has increased and my mood is better. Focusing on several projects is not a problem. Work seems to go faster, and I get a lot more done in less time. And everything just seems better and life flows. Now, one of the things I've learned over the years working with nootropics is it's not cheap. In fact, taking each nootropic on its own, in my case, can add up to a few $100s every month. But using Lab Pro dramatically reduced my nootropic budget. Now, I've got a breakdown here of how much each of these nootropics would cost if purchased individually. I got these prices from Amazon here in the US at the time of doing this video. Amazon is usually competitive with other retailers online and the brick and mortar stores. So the prices that I quote here could be different in your part of the world or when you see this video. Bacopa Monieri is $14.99. Citicoline as cognizine, like Lab Pro uses, is $20. Phosphatidyl-serine, or Sharp PS Green, like OptiNutri uses, is $48.97. It's an expensive ingredient. Lion's Mane mushroom is $8.95. Rhodiola rosea, at the same concentrations, is $7.86. L-theanine as suntheanine is $11.49. N-acetyl L-tyrosine, or NALT, is $12.29. Terastilbene is $11.49. Vinpocetine, $10.99. Vitamin B6, $17.95 is P5P. And vitamin B12 is methylcobalamin, $18.95. So the total of each of these evidence-backed nootropics, when purchased individually, comes out to about $184.35. Now, note that the dosages are often higher when used individually. And I've included supplements packed in vegetarian capsules, which are often a little bit higher than regular capsules. So $184. Now, Lab Pro for a 30-day supply, if you take only the recommended 2 capsules a day, is $65, plus shipping and handling. And in some areas, like here in the US, you can choose a 3-month supply of Lab Pro. That's 3 boxes for $195, and you get 1 box free, including shipping and handling. That works out to $48.75 a box. So the price in your country might be a little bit more, a little bit less than this. You'll have to check. Now, OptiNutri has taken the extra step to include plant caps instead of regular vegetarian capsules in their stack. These vegan caps are made from tapioca. Now, most competitors, including all of the nootropics that I mentioned above, use HPMC vegetarian capsules, which are made from a semi-synthetic polymer. So it's kind of like a natural plastic, if you will, but not Lab Pro. Now let's take a look at what I thought were the pros and the cons of Lab Pro. First of all, full disclosure of on the amount of each ingredient. They use high quality branded ingredients like cognizine, Sharp PS, and suntheanine. They use vegan natural plant caps. They use highly bioavailable B vitamins like P5P and methylcobalamin. There's 0 additives. They use organic when available, and it's always free of toxic heavy metals and other contaminants. They test prior to encapsulation for allergens, GMOs, microbes, pesticides, and herbicides. Then batches are retested after they're made to confirm their potency, purity, and accuracy. I only know of one other pre-made stack maker that claims to do this, and I happen to like this stack better. Nobody else goes through this extensive testing before they sell you their product. They also ship it in recyclable cardboard security boxes filled with biodegradable packing peanuts. And it's competitively priced. Now the cons for Lab Pro, I think the vinpocetine dosage is too low. They've got 6 milligrams. It should be at least 10 milligrams, even 20 milligrams of vinpocetine. The other issue, it's only available on their website. You can't buy it on Amazon or any place else. You can only get it on Lab Pro. And I think the acetylcholine dose is too low if you're using racetams. Acetylcholine is CDP choline. You need a higher dose if you're using racetams to stop a racetam headache. But in all, I think the dosages included in Lab Pro are perfect for this stack. In these dosage ranges, side effects are minimized or non-existent. And because they fully disclose how much is in each 2-capsule dose, I have a better idea on what I need to add to the stack for my unique issues. So that's my review of Lab Pro. When you click on the link below this video, you'll be taken to a full transcript of this video, and you'll also find dozens of articles on all the well-known nootropics on Nootropics Expert. Now, if you've got any questions or you want to share your experience using Lab Pro, go to my article at Nootropics Expert and leave it in the comments section at the bottom of the article. If you want to see more videos on all the popular nootropics used today, subscribe to this channel before you leave. I'll be putting up new videos on nootropics and optimizing your brain every week. I'm David Toman. I use Lab Pro, and I'm author of nootropicsexpert.com.